Tonight, President Clinton was in what some would call his preaching style. I say, and many people say he was the first black president. He definitely has a delivery that's like a revival preacher that kind of takes you up high, grabs your emotions, gives you those facts, and then kind of says the benediction and walks out. So it was electric when Barack came out of the back, and greets him. To me, this is the real America. Black, white, all on it. If you looked in the audience, you had all types of people in one place, coexisting, really behind somebody who they really believed in, short of Jesus, could save the world. Darius Pridgen, Ellicott District Council member. The highlight for me of this evening at the Democratic National Convention was definitely the speech by Bill Clinton. I thought that Bill Clinton knocked it out of the box in moving beyond just an emotional speech, but really drilling down to the facts, to the numbers, to the percentages, to those things that you often don't hear at this type of event. This is sometime more of a revival than a place of information. So I got a lot of the revival this week, but the speech from Bill Clinton, if his numbers are accurate, spoke volumes about the different camps, what the Republicans are putting out and what the Democrats are putting out. I do think Western New York, especially Buffalo, is better now than it was 4 years ago. Our economy is growing, our crime is down, our education is still suffering in some ways. However, I do think that there is a renewed hope and extra money rolling through Buffalo that was not there before. Some of the critical issues I haven't heard addressed, unfortunately, in this convention. We've heard a lot about the middle class, which is important, but Buffalo is made up of middle class. We don't have a higher class, a big higher, wealthier class. So we're made up of middle class and low income. And I heard a lot here about middle class, but we really have to talk about poverty in the United States. And Buffalo also has gang problem, violence problem, crime problem. We have to start addressing the actual urban agenda a little bit more than I think we have. I know politically that might be a hot button to mess with because some people don't want to talk about those type of things and simply want to talk about money. We also didn't hear a lot about education, which I think we have to really, especially for cities like Buffalo, concentrate on. We have to have a national agenda that's real concerning education. I definitely think that we have to hold this administration a little bit more accountable, especially in New York. The New York, I believe that because it is almost assumed that New York will vote blue, that there isn't a lot of attention in asking New York about our issues or really getting involved. And I think that our leaders, our county party has to be very involved in this. This is Barack's last term if he's to win. So I think we could be much more aggressive on what we expect, especially in our cities, in our suffering cities. Buffalo is a Rust Belt city. It has never really had the revival. So when there was a recession, it really didn't affect Buffalo as much. We woke up and went, oh, the rest of the country is with us now. So we wanted to throw a party like welcome over here to the poor side. But at this point, if Barack Obama is reelected, and I hope that he is reelected, because I think the alternative is even worse off for Buffalo. But if Barack Obama is reelected, I think we have to hold this administration's feet to the fire when it comes to cities like Buffalo, New York. It's all about not allowing people to simply be elected and then not coming back. It's about strong leadership. One of the things that I'm very concerned about, even being here for this week, we didn't have a presence of the Erie County Democratic Party here in force. And that concerns me. And I know that we're making changes in the Democratic Party leadership, but when you come to a convention like this and you go to state breakfasts and Western New York is never mentioned, and there's no real speakers there from Buffalo, from Niagara Falls, and that concerns me, because what it means is we're not putting forth the leadership that keeps attention on Western New York, and that's important. You don't just elect a person and get excited, at the convention, and then 4 years go by. It has to be the question. You got to deal with the liaison. Obviously, people in Buffalo are not going to deal with Barack Obama directly. However, every president has people in areas that we should be sitting down with, meeting with, and saying what we need and what the agenda needs. That's why we attend the caucuses, to get our voice out, so that, when we're talking about whether it's African Americans, whether it is the urban agenda, we have to say it. And we can't be afraid. Part of the problem is when you're in politics, some people don't want to kind of ruffle any feathers because of, well, will this person support me? And I think that we have to do less politics and much more caring about our community, our city, and our region, and go, hey, if it ruffles feathers, it'll get the attention that's needed in order to make changes. I think that happens by ruffling feathers, knowing your facts and knowing what you want, and then going after it. I think tomorrow night this convention is fired up and ready to hear from the President of the United States. I think a strategic and good move was having Michelle Obama, the First Lady, here for several days, almost like the kind of mother hen over the children, to make sure that we were in order, and for her to share this time. I was happened to be on the other side of town earlier when Air Force One came in and got stopped and ended up in a strategic location of being able to see that plane come in. And there was just this kind of pride that said, our president is here, our president is fighting for the middle class. Are we there yet? No, we're not. As the speeches were said, and as President Clinton said today, we still have a ways to go. But it wasn't going to happen in 4 years. And so I think that his speech tonight was electrifying and almost like church.